It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview Dave Magley, the president of the Basketball League. How are you doing today?
Doing great, Brandon. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get involved in sports?
Well, I come from a family in Indiana where sports are pretty important. My oldest brother was a really good high school and college basketball player. My brother that was right older than me was, someone I competed with, and my sister was, encouraged us to be successful. My dad was a professional boxer and a baseball player, and our neighborhood was just full of kids. So we all grew up wanting to be basketball players or baseball or tennis or football or something. All of us grew up just playing sports.
Can you talk about your time playing with Kansas in college?
Yeah, Kansas was really cool, Brandon. I got to play against Irvin Magic Johnson the year they won the championship at Michigan State. And then I got to play against Michael Jordan, his first game as a freshman at North Carolina. So it was really cool to get a chance to play against two of the best players ever.
Whenever you played against them, of course, what was going through your head knowing that at that time you didn't know that they would become what they are now?
Honestly, when you play against great players, you just want a chance to show you're as good as they are. And I knew that Magic especially was a really big name, and if we had a chance to play well against him, it would be a big thing. And Michael's had some better players than him on his team in college. Had a guy named James Worthy was the number one draft pick in the draft that year, and Sam Perkins was a really great player that played 16 years in the NBA. And they were coached by a legendary coach named Dean Smith. So I just wanted to prove that we were good enough to play with those guys and compete. And I had pretty good games, especially against Carolina when I was a senior.
What was your time like as the commissioner of the NBL in Canada?
Brandon, it was really a great experience because there's so many awesome fans in Canada that love the game of basketball. They love their players. They treated me with a lot of respect, and Canadians are really friendly. They're very nice people, and they really it was just a great time to be in Canada with basketball. It's the number one participation sport in Canada, even over hockey, because it just doesn't cost as much as hockey. And there's more NBA players from Canada than any country besides the United States in the NBA. So it's a growing, emerging market for basketball players.
What did you accomplish in the North American Premier Basketball as the president?
As the president of the NAPB, we were able to get 8 teams and help them to have a really solid year, and 5 of the teams went forward, and the championship series between Yakima and Albany was really good, and it was a good baseline for starting TBL.
What was some of your roles and responsibility as their president?
Well, I pretty much ran the league. It was my responsibility to find the teams and help find the players by doing tryout events, and then get the schedule organized and just attend it and kind of be the face of the league. Just really do a little bit of everything.
How has that helped you now to become the president of the basketball league?
Well, the basketball league is my wife's vision, and she is very unique in that she's the first female to own a male pro sports league, and with that comes a certain heart for people. And she's different than I am, but that's better. She's a very very caring person that wants to treat the players and treat our communities as special. And really all I do now is just implement her vision, and we're having great success with it.
Can you talk about, of course, your roles as president?
Well, I think that really, it's similar to the NAPB in that as a TBL president, I establish a lot of the teams, and then I work with the teams to help them find players. And we've got some great talent with our commissioner, Carl Wiley, and our CEO, Evelyn Magley, runs the business day to day and makes certain everything front office and back office works good. So I'm kind of out in the field grinding it out, and they're running everything else, and it's working nice.
With the TBL, who are some of the teams that are in the league?
Well, we have 29 teams currently, and 12 of them came back from last year, we started with 12, finished with 12, and probably the more familiar names are people like Steve Francis, the franchise owns a team in Houston, and Jerome Williams, a junkyard dog, a great NBA player from the Pistons and the Raptors, the Knicks. He owns a team in Las Vegas, and then we've got some really cool markets like Kokomo, Indiana, and Syracuse, New York, and Jamestown, New York, and Tampa, Florida, and all over the country. We've got big markets and small markets, and we think we're pretty important in all of them because we're trying to impact the communities.
Where are some of the places that you plan to expand in the next few years?
Well, I think pretty much the entire North American continent is places you'll see us. You'll eventually see us with something in Canada, and you'll see us something in Mexico eventually, maybe Puerto Rico, and probably in Hawaii eventually, because there's so many places that can celebrate what we do. But there's a lot of new teams coming next year. We have another, not playing this year, we have another 18 teams that are ready to go for next year. They're going to be in the league. So we're expanding pretty fast.
Of course, do you have any teams out towards the south of me?
Where are you located?
North Carolina.
Yeah, we have a team in South Carolina. We have a team in Raleigh, North Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia. I believe we'll have another team in one of the Carolinas next year, maybe two of them.
Of course, with North Carolina being such a basketball state, how important was it to get some teams out here?
Well, I think I think that research triangle where they have North Carolina State and Duke and Carolina all in the same relative geography, it's pretty cool to have teams right there, and a team in Raleigh, and maybe one in Durham eventually, and maybe even one in Chapel Hill. So having teams there, because there's plenty of talent, even Shaw University, and there's just a lot of schools right there in that area that have good talent that can play at our level.
Can you talk about some of the similarities and differences between the basketball league and, of course, the NBA?
Well, the similarities are that we both have a very entertaining brand of basketball. That we play fast paced. We get up and down the court. We are athletic. Our guys are Division I players, just like them. But we have other players from other areas, more walks of life. That Division II and NAI. That we have kids from Division III. That we have kids that didn't even go to college. So we give everybody a chance. The resume goes out the window, and the best players play. It's a little different from there. We probably can't afford the really talented big men that the NBA can. But as you go, I would argue our guards are pretty much equal to most guards in the world.
Of course, can you talk about how it's like being the feeder kind of to the NBA and a little different than what the NBA offers?
Well, we would love for our players to get to play in the G League first, and eventually the NBA. We would love for our guys to play anywhere. I mean, if it's their dream to play around the world, we want to be that development showcase league that helps them get someplace. And if we do it right, it has a chance to play anywhere. That's really good. As far as what we do differently is we're probably a little bit more hands-on in the community.
Who are some of the notable people that have played in your league?
Jamario Moon's a longtime NBA player that does real big things in the Big Three right now, and Smush Parker played with Kobe Bryant in the NBA, and so did Kareem Rush. We've had Tyler Thornton played at Duke and was a good point guard at Duke. Kevin Young is a great player from Kansas that plays in our league, and we have Ronaldo was the all-time leading scorer in the G League. So yeah, we've had a lot of great players in our league.
What are some of your future plans with the basketball league?
Well, let's continue to grow and support. Excuse me. All of the markets that it can support and help these young men fulfill their dreams, and then have them help us impact the community. So the only thing we ask from our players is that they get out there and they're visible and they help people. And we want to be a league that gives more than we take. We want to be a community asset and become something that when people think mid-level pro basketball, they think the basketball league.
Can you talk about how COVID has impacted your league?
Well, it's probably a couple different things. It's given us. We ended our season early last year because of COVID. We were able to come back and have more time. COVID provided us more time to find more players, more teams. We grew from 12 teams to finish the season to 35 before we tipped, and then we shrunk it back because of COVID to 29 because 6 of the markets weren't really ready yet. And those things worked really well for us. So COVID's not been awful. It's been a good thing for us being able to expand. Now we're coming back starting tomorrow, and some of the teams that are coming in will not have a lot of fans to begin with, but eventually we believe before the season's up, they'll all have at least 50 to 75% capacity.
That's so amazing. What is something that you learned now that you didn't know before becoming the president?
Well, I think that, for me, I have a pretty wealth of business and basketball experience. But being the president of a league that your wife owns, there's a little bit more responsibility to make sure you really do things well. It's important that we're excellent in all things that we do because it's our name on the line, specifically my wife's name. So I'll defend her honor to the end of the world, and so I want to make certain we put a really good brand out there.
That's wonderful. What advice would you give upcoming future people looking to become president of their own league or any league at that?
Well, I think that the most important thing I can give any young person is don't make such strong plans that you're not willing to change them, because God has his own pathway for each of us. And if you go out and you live your life and you serve him the right way, he'll guide your path in the direction of your heart. I never thought I would even be in this position. It just kind of came together. And I just think that that's a providential, ordained way to do things. And it's worked really well for us.
That's amazing. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the basketball league at?
Well, you can find me like on Instagram. I'm at Coach_Mags, David Magley on Facebook, although I don't think I can accept any more people on that. Our league is the Basketball League on Facebook. It's T Basketball League on Instagram, and the Twitter handle is TBL Pro League.
Thank you again, Dave Magley, for your interview, and best of luck as the president of the Basketball League.
Thanks, Brandon. You be blessed and keep doing the good work. You're starting a really cool career for yourself, my friend.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Dave, for your interview, and best of luck.
Be blessed.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.